You're staring at two cans. One is about $80, the other is over $100, but they're both labeled premium. That just doesn't add up. What are you actually paying for? Here's the truth. The label won't tell you. The person behind the counter doesn't know. But if you give me a couple of minutes, I'm going to walk you through it ingredient by ingredient. We'll see there's a couple of things in Aura that almost no one knows about, and one thing in Dynasty that might completely change the way you look at it. As we look at our chart, this first row lets us know how much water is in each can. Think of water and paint like a truck. The solids, or what stays behind after the water evaporates, is the cargo. Aura is carrying 44% solids. Dynasty is carrying 45%. We see that they're very similar, practically putting the same amount of material on the wall. The next thing I want to share with you would be the binders, because this is the glue that holds everything together. Aura says proprietary 100% acrylic. That's their resin. It's fully acrylic, engineered in-house. And Benjamin Moore keeps that formula close to the chest. But there are a couple of things that we can glean from their safety data sheets. We see that this acrylic is very flexible. It has 108% elongation at break. That means that the dried film can stretch to more than double its original length before it tears. This is going to matter on wood siding that expands and contracts with the seasons. As we look at Dynasty, we see that it's an acrylic hybrid. Now, Behr doesn't tell us what it's hybridized with, but based on performance claims that Behr makes, the chemistry that's most consistent with those results would be a urethane acrylic hybrid. This is a well-established technology within the coatings industry, but a urethane acrylic hybrid, if that's what it is, would bring better abrasion resistance as well as gloss retention to the table, potentially a tougher film surface. The trade-off is that a pure acrylic system generally is going to have better long-term UV and flexibility performance outdoors. As we look at our next line item, we're going to see titanium dioxide. Both paints use this as their primary pigment for hide and opacity. Aura discloses 20 to 25% by weight. Dynasty discloses between 10 to 30%, which is quite a wide range. But more titanium dioxide that's in the can is going to improve hide. Aura's range is tighter and has a higher titanium load on the low end, and that's a real transparency advantage. As we turn our attention back to the chart, we now look at the corrosion inhibitors. Here's the first one that surprises a lot of people. And it's one of those two things that I mentioned at the start. Aura contains both zinc oxide and sodium nitrate. As we look at Dynasty, we see that absolutely nothing is listed in this category. That doesn't mean that there's zero protection. It just simply isn't disclosed. So for that reason, we can't judge how good it is through those particular ingredients. Also worth noting that zinc oxide that we talked about in the Aura is actually performing double duty, and we're going to talk about that next. As we turn our attention to UV stabilizers, this is what protects the binder from breaking down in the sunlight. And here's something that most people get wrong. UV doesn't fade paint by bleaching the pigment directly. What it actually does is attack the acrylic binder itself, breaking polymer chains through a process called photooxidation. It's a lot like rust, but only for plastic. The specific class of UV stabilizers in both these paints are called HALs, or a hindered amine light stabilizer. They work by scavenging the free radicals that UV light generates before those radicals can break down the polymer chains. Now, here's why the dual HALs system really matters. Different HALs components work at different points in the free radical chain reaction. Think of it like a two-stage water filter. One stage catches what the other misses. More is going to get stopped than what either one could handle by itself. Both Aura and Dynasty use two separate Has components for exactly this reason. So when Aura says color lock and Dynasty says 10-year color fade resistance, those claims are going to trace directly back to this chemistry that we're talking about right now. This is a genuine strength for each of these products. The next point I want to share with you is going to be the fillers and extenders. These are mineral ingredients that bulk up the paint formula. They're not glamorous, but they're in every single gallon of paint ever made. Aura discloses 3 of them: kaolin clay, nepheline cyanite, and amorphous silica. I want you to think about what Aura is doing here. They use kaolin clay for a smooth, creamy application, as well as film uniformity. Amorphous silica is going to help contribute to film hardness and sheen control. Nepheline cyanite, which is the most expensive of the 3, will be used for long-term scrub resistance and weathering durability. Each extender is pulling a different lever. This is intentional formulating. What about Dynasty? Here we see nothing is disclosed. Behr has explicitly claimed trade secret protection under OSHA's hazard communication standards. This is completely legal. A lack of disclosure doesn't mean lower quality, just less visibility. As we turn our attention to our next row, we're going to look at mildew and biocides. Here's where it starts getting interesting. This is the second thing that I mentioned at the top that most people don't talk about. Aura uses zinc oxide as a fungicide. That's the same zinc oxide that we talked about earlier that was doing the corrosion inhibition work. It's one ingredient, but it's doing 2 jobs. This is very efficient formulating. It's backed up by carbamic acid benzimidazole. This is a dedicated fungicide. Dynasty, on the other hand, takes a different approach. A full biocide stack. It has diuron. This is a herbicide class dry film preservative. This prevents algae and mildew growth in the cured paint film. It also has MIT and CMIT. These are both isothiazone preservatives. They protect the wet paint while it's in the can, not the cured surface. It also has carbendazim. This is a broad spectrum fungicide for dry film protection. Dynasty's approach is much more aggressive and it's layered, which on paper looks very strong. However, we need to keep in mind that only ingredients over a certain threshold need to be documented. Our next row, and this is one of my personal favorites, especially from a chemistry standpoint. Dynasty uses a coalescent, specifically 2-butoxyethyl benzoate. A coalescent is essentially a temporary plasticizer. It softens the binder particles and does this just enough to let them flow and fuse. Then it's going to evaporate out of the film over time. Aura uses a crosslinker, hexane dioic acid dihydruzide. This is a fundamentally different mechanism. Instead of just helping particles fuse, this compound is going to react chemically with the acrylic backbone after all the paint dries. It forms covalent bonds, creating a network that's tougher and going to be more chemically resistant than a straight acrylic film. This is an ingredient that's going to separate Aura from most of the competition. So this is the inside story for exterior Aura and Dynasty. Chemistry isn't the whole picture, but now you know what you're paying for in the can. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.